Hi guys, this is Ike from IkesOutdoors.com. Today we're going to be doing a product review on the new breed Nemesis. I've got the Nemesis here, and you'll notice that this thing is all decked out and ready to go hunting. That's simply because I've been hunting with this bow. I've had this bow for about 2 or 3 weeks now, which is a lot longer than I normally give a review. But this bow's not going back to new breed. This bow's staying here with me. So this is going to be my backup bow this year. It's going to be a bow that I'm going to do some hunting with, along with my primary bow. As of right now, it's the only bow that I've got that's hit the woods. I've really been giving it as good a test as I possibly can, and hope to get the test out on a deer here pretty quick. So I got this thing all set up front. I got my Roscovi on here, got an HHA sight, got the my ripcord rest, and I've got a stock and sling on here. So that's the sling you'll see there, and other than that, it's everything on its factory. But so I got this thing set at 27 inches. I'm shooting 64 pounds, and I'm shooting a about 365 grain arrow, and I'm getting 278 to 280 feet per second out of this bow, which is awesome. The specs on this bow is it's got a 6.5 inch brace height, it's a 30.5 inch axle to axle bow, and it's IBO rated for 325 feet per second. That's why the 280 feet per second is awesome, because this bow is IBO rated. It's actually kind of low, you know, and an IBO rating of 325, I can normally expect to get about 260 out of that bow with my setup, with my short draw length and the lower poundage that I'm shooting. And I normally shoot 60 pounds, but this bow has such a smooth draw that I'm able to shoot 64 pounds out of it. So it's set a little bit higher than what I normally would shoot. But the speed retention on this thing is really impressive. Being a short bow, it's designed for shorter guys who have a little bit shorter draw length. And the speed on this thing, the speed retention is awesome. You know, IBO rated for 325. I should normally be getting about 260 out of a bow that's IBO rated that way, or roughly 265, something like that. And I can tell you right now, I shoot a bow. My primary bow is a bow that's rated for 340 feet per second, and it has a really aggressive draw cycle on it, really aggressive cam on it, and it's not as smooth, and it's not as it wants to creep. You can't creep with that bow as much as you can this one, but it's IBO rated for 340 feet per second, and I'm shooting 282 out of it. So this bow, even though it's only IBO rated for 325 feet per second, the way they've got this thing designed, it's maintaining a lot better speed than what I really expected out of it. And testing out all the bows that I get to test out each year, I can almost look at a bow and tell you how it's going to perform, and tell you what it's going to feel like. And I can tell you this new breed Nemesis really surprised me. Being a shorter bow and having a 6.5 inch brace height and being IBO rated for 325, I expected a few things. I expected it to be slow. I expected to get around 260 out of it. I expected it to be erratic and hard to shoot, being a short axle to axle and having a shorter brace height. But I can tell you right now, none of those things were true. We talked about the speed, and it's retaining the speed really well, a lot better than what I expected. The short brace height on this bow is not affecting my shooting at all. I like a bow with a 7 inch brace height, and this is the first bow that I've ever shot with a brace height shorter than 7 inches that I'm actually going to keep, that I'm actually going to shoot. I've shot some, testing some out shorter than that, but I never was able to shoot them. This one I can shoot, and I can shoot it well. I can really wad arrows together with this thing. And being short, I didn't expect it to hold real well, but it does. It really holds. It holds really well for me. And I can tell you right now, being a shorter guy, I'm about 5'8", and having a short draw length, I've always tried to lean toward the shorter bows, and I've never really shot a bow that's quite as short as this one, though. This one's 30 inches, and normally I shoot about a 32 to 33 inch bow, and or maybe even as high as 35 inches. But this 30 inch bow, it fits me, and it fits me really well. That's one of the reasons that this bow is performing so well for me, is because it just fits me and fits my shooting style and fits my size really well. So once again, this is the new breed Nemesis, and we'll talk about the specs again. It's a 30.5 inch axle to axle bow. It's got a 6.5 inch brace height, and it's IBO rated for 325 feet per second. Now my current setup is 64 pounds, 27 inch draw, and I'm shooting 365 grain arrow, and I'm getting 280 feet per second out of it. So the speed retention is really good. This mate has got some really quality components on it. They use top of the line strings on this bow. They use Barnsdale limbs. This thing is a really high quality bow, high quality made. Grip on this bow is awesome. This grip is very comfortable. Never had any issues with the grip on this bow. The looks of this bow is fantastic. This one's got the black limbs on it, solid limbs, and it's got the next gen camo on the riser. I've got a little bit of bow snuff in there too, so that's what you're seeing there. So it's a very sharp looking bow. This is available in split limb and a couple different camouflage or finish options. You can get solid black, camouflage limbs, whatever the looks are. And the split limbs look sweet. I really like the split limbs too, but these solid limbs look really cool. Got the nice cool New Breed logo up there. Overall, the finish on this bow is perfect, and just the overall looks of this bow is pretty sweet. It shoots really well. Another nice feature of this bow is it has a bow rattler string suppressor here. So they use top of the line components on this bow, and it really shows in the way this bow performs. I'm going to show you the draw cycle on this bow. I'm just going to sit down here because this is a 64-pound bow, and the draw cycle on this thing is so smooth that I can pull it back sitting down. I can pull this bow. It's passed all my tests that I give a bow to see. You know, when I get a bow, I want to test how good it's going to draw. You can see on my intro, I pull these bows off my back. If I can't pull it off my back, then I'm going to lower the poundage till I can. I want to be able to shoot any position that I possibly may have to take. The draw cycle on this bow is just butter smooth. A little bit of hesitation there, but 64 pounds, and I can jerk it right back sitting down, no problem at all. It holds like a rock. I mean, it holds very nice. This thing doesn't have hardly any doesn't want to pull out of your hand. It's not real aggressive. It doesn't want to go. You can kind of relax a little bit on it, and you can really creep with it. So it doesn't have a real aggressive cam, but it still maintains that speed really well. You can see here, 64 pounds, and I can hold this all day long. I mean, this thing really holds, really shoots nice. As far as being on the shot a piece of styrofoam, that's what that noise was. I'm only about 2 yards from it, but the bow is butter smooth. A better example than that, because I hit that styrofoam, is my test shots that we shot through the chronograph. That was the bow set up exactly like this, set up for hunting. I actually had my quiver on that shot too. The bow is extremely quiet. On the shot, with it set up like this, you can see I don't have a stabilizer on this thing. I got my Roscoe on the front, and I got some bow snuff in the riser, and I've got the bow jacks on the limbs that it came factory with. That's all I've got for silencers, and this bow is just quiet as can be. The bow rattler string suppressor really helps out quite a bit, and the bow snuff's a good product too, but this bow by itself is extremely quiet and extremely vibration free on the shot. So this is the New Breed Nemesis, and I can tell you right now, I'm going to give this bow a 10. This bow is perfect. It does exactly what they claim it'll do. That's how I base these bows, is if they advertise it to do it, I expect it to be able to do it. And if it can't do that, then I knock some points off my total. And this New Breed Nemesis is a 10, definitely. It's probably above and beyond that, because it simply outperformed the claims that they made. It retained its speed really well. It shot a lot better than what I expected it to shoot. It was a lot more forgiving than what I expected, and it just performed flawlessly. And it fits me perfect. I mean, it fits me like no other bow has ever fit me before. This bow's not going back to New Breed. This bow's staying right here with me. This bow's going to be going to the woods with me this year. That's how much I like this bow. You guys who are shorter guys, shorter draw length archers, take this bow and test this out. This thing is going to fit you really nice. I can guarantee it. It really fits me great. And if you get a shorter draw length, like I said, if you got a shorter draw length, this bow is going to retain speed better than any other bow that I've shot. I got a 27-inch draw length, and my bows that I normally shoot are real aggressive cams on them, and they've got IBO speeds of 340 or above. And with this bow, even though it's only got a 325, I'm still shooting the exact same, almost exact same speed that I'm getting shooting out of the bow that's IBO rated for 340. But I've got all the forgiveness that I want as far as the cams go. I can creep with this one a little bit. It doesn't have a harsh draw cycle. It doesn't have that hump like my other bow does. And it just shoots a whole lot easier, even at 64 pounds. This thing, that's the reason I'm able to shoot 64 pounds, is because it's so smooth. So this is the New Breed Nemesis, and I highly recommend you try this thing out. This bow looks sharp. It shoots fantastic. and I'm very, very impressed with it. Again, it's another bow that I'm from New Breed that I'm going to give a 10. I've tested out the Nemesis and I've tested out the genetics, and the next one I've given both of those bows a 10. So the next one that they got is the Cyborg, and it's a longer axle bow. It's more of a target bow, but the way things are going with New Breed, I've got to give that bow a shot because these bows are very, very impressive. So definitely check this out. NewBreedArchery.com is their website, and I gotta check the banner over here to make sure that's what it is. You can join the New Breed Nation. They got a New Breed Nation. You can check that out. They got a really, really good lineup of bows, and they got a really good diversity. You can find the one that's right for you. This is the Nemesis. This one gets a perfect 10 for me, and it's one that will not be making the trip back to New Breed. This one's going to be staying right here with me. So check this out at NewBreedArchery.com. The Nemesis, the genetics, and the Cyborg. The Nemesis and the genetics are awesome bows. I've loved both of them. Cyborg's got to be a good bow too, just based on the genetics and the Nemesis. So NewBreedArchery.com. Join the New Breed Nation. I think that these are some of the most outstanding bows on the market, and it's one you're going to see me shooting. Be sure to check out my website, IkesOutdoors.com. I'm doing a hunting journal this year, so you'll be able to see this Nemesis in some of my hunting videos. Definitely be sure to check this bow out. NewBreedArchery.com is their website. Appreciate you guys watching.
I like good times, good wine, good smoke, and a 5-piece bed. And I can't help it, it's just the way